word Mike D. J Supreme. Blerds, the word is Z Ali. Captain Kirk. Blerds, the word circa 85. Tobias Black. Yeah, welcome to episode 13 of Blerds, the Word Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mike D, out here with co-host J Supreme.
What's good, people? How we doing?
We doing good. It's Valentine's weekend. we all feeling the Valentine's squeeze. We out here with our Blerds on Valentine's Day, kicking it off with Tobias Black.
Yo, what's good, y'all?
What's goody? We also got in the building Captain Kirk.
Yo.
That's it. That's my intro. Yo.
That's how I got it. Yo.
And then last but not least, we got circa 85.
Morning and thanks for listening. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. To all of our listeners, thank you for tuning in to episode 13 of Blerds. As usual, we appreciate you all tuning in to us. We're going to kick things off today with a bit of an icebreaker before we jump right into topics. We got a lot to talk about, but Jay, I heard something been on your mind lately, so I'm going to kick it over to you. What's up?
Well, first of all, we should have did this on the first episode. Just ask the guys what were they doing or how are you all doing since our last. We went on a small break.
Mm-hmm.
Just jumped straight into it. So I'm gonna go around real quick and just ask the guys to fill in the our fans what you all been up to, the past 6 weeks that we took our break. So I'm Tobias, man. Let the people know how you feeling, what you been up to,
man. Just living life, man. I got my daughter on the way, so my wife is pregnant. I got my little thank you. Got my 2-year-old running around. He energetic, looking like Sonic the Hedgehog out here, man. Like every 5 seconds he's flipping and jumping off stairs and stuff. But life is beautiful, man. I can't complain, man. As far as the music, I've been writing a lot. Just trying to get this music out. We got some connects that we trying to, solidify and get that music out. So
okay.
So
that's dope,
yeah,
bro.
man. Congrats, brother.
That, man.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Circa. Circa, what's up with you, man? What's been up with you, bro? What's good?
Just working like a Hebrew slave, man. Just working. Just working. And I recently I bought a Peloton.
Okay, all right.
Peloton bike. And that's, yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah. I think it was on sale for $1,800, so I couldn't let that pass.
Got him a baller.
Drop the bag on him.
Trying to, get in shape a little bit. That's
Man,
You got it now?
Yeah, I got it.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
I haven't been on it yet. I literally just got
up.
it Tuesday, so yeah, I'm gonna see what's to it. Yeah.
All right, man. If you get tired of it, man, just let me know. All right, I'll come take it off. Take it off your hands.
I got you.
Captain Kirk, what's up, bro? What's new with you, man? What's good? How you been?
Man, I still ain't got my stimulus check since the last time, so out here waiting on that still. Nah, for real, I just been grinding, man, taking care of the family, making sure kids getting educated on this wonderful virtual platform and all that good stuff. It's been a good run, man, but I've been missing this platform, so it's definitely good to be back breaking bread with the brothers, man.
That's what's up. Glad you here, man. What's up with you, Mike D?
And surviving.
Dirty Mike and the
Dirty
boys.
Mike and the boys. Surviving this fucking pandemic, man. That's damn near a full-time job in and of itself. Outside of that, work picked up for me heavy during the pandemic. I work in virtual events technology, and there's nothing more hot right now for corporate America than that. So just been on the grind trying to, make the most I can of this moment financially, and because it'll pass and the world will open back up at some point. So that's pretty much it, man. Just that and surprising myself with this podcast. There's a lot over the break that we were working on, trying to find new technology and trying different things out for the show. That I found like a creative side of me I didn't even know I had. Video editing and stuff like that is stuff that I never would have thought about 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So just becoming better at this, trying to perfect this podcast, and trying not to go crazy at work and enjoy my wife when I'm not doing all of that. It's pretty much it, bro. How about you? What about you?
Well, shit, man, I'm good. I've been good, trying to stay healthy. Trying to, keep the family safe, keep myself safe. Yep. Working on some personal goals. Just trying to take each day, not for granted. Yep. Before this pandemic hit, I know we took a lot of things for granted. So hopefully this pandemic is over soon, because I don't necessarily miss being around people. I just miss going to certain places like cigar lounge. Like I want to be able to go to the cigar lounge and enjoy, a nice cigar besides being in my, my cold ass garage. Or some shit.
I feel that.
But I don't really. It's been cool, turning down events. People have like they want to do things. I'm like, nah, we're still in the pandemic. Yes. I'm not really trying to go nowhere. So when the world open back up, I'm gonna have to. I mean, I don't mind saying no, but like it's gonna be, sometimes my wife, she be like, you don't want to do nothing. I'm like, well,
right.
Pandemic, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to use that excuse not to do shit.
I'm gonna miss that. You're right.
So,
well, the good thing is you got kids, and kids are always a good excuse for everything. Oh,
yeah, but then sometimes I'm like, yeah, true, that's true. But then I don't like saying like, my kids get sick, because that's like putting it out there. And I don't want them getting sick, because when they get sick, that's one of the worst things to deal with. Like, it's crazy, But you try to like, you don't have a babysitter, and they'll be like, well, you just bring the kids with you. So like but yeah, man, I'm good though. I'm good, man. I will be happy when all this yeah, man. But before we get into these topics, man, I got a would you rather, man. We ain't do would you rather in a while. So listen up, guys. Listen up. So would you rather kill Alfred in front of Batman, or kill 4 million people to save the world from nuclear annihilation?
Damn, what kind of choice is that? That's some morbid shit. That's a kill anyone.
I know, but I had to.
Wait, re-say that again?
Would you rather kill Alfred and Batman, or kill 4 million people to save the world from a nuclear annihilation? Who want to go first?
So,
how y'all thinking about this? It's like, you would think this is an obvious choice, right? But y'all
I'll go first. You got to kill 4 million people, because you got to realize how many people on Earth, like billions and trillions of people on Earth. What's 4 million?
Yeah.
Seriously, what's 4 million people on Earth to? Well, where are we at? What country are we in? Are we in the U.S.? Where are we?
Yeah, I mean, you're in the U.S.
So 4 million people from the U.S. and like what city, what state, what region?
It don't pick
okay,
your
let's say
choosing,
4
bro.
million random people throughout the U.S. Well, yeah, I'm doing that then to say the world. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
they can die 4 million.
Leathers, you just like X an entire city. You like
it's common sense though.
Oh, is it in Utah? Because everyone Utah could just leave.
Think about it. If it's 4 million people, and it ain't that deep. And that whole Batman thing is ridiculous. I ain't listen to that Batman and Alfred. I ain't listen to that part.
I'm killing Alfred. Yeah,
you kill Alfred.
Why? Why
you
asking
gonna do is beat your ass and take you to jail or something. You're not gonna kill you. You don't kill.
Nah. Batman gonna be depressed. Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred.
Or he might say Martha.
Man, stop bringing up old stuff, man.
I know, right? What you got, Captain Kirk? What you doing, man?
Yeah, Alfred get that work. For sure. You know, I figured I'd be doing something better for the world anyway, because he'll be a better Batman after that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
without Alfred, you think so? You think Alfred is a handicap to Batman?
Oh no, I just think it's gonna push him to a whole nother level, man. He and already lost his parents.
Yep.
Then you gonna kill his surrogate. So either he gonna start murking fools like he should anyway, get rid of the Joker.
He should already be killing people.
Yeah, they should already take this vigilante thing to the next level. Just think about this: a lethal Batman. Can't nobody touch him.
He already got the money to stop the nuclear
like
stuff.
Punisher then. Like, what would be the difference Batman and Punisher then? They be the same person.
It's a big difference.
Real big difference.
It's a big difference. There's a big difference between Punisher and
Batman
went bad, bro.
He be the Punisher
because he didn't learn how to break. He didn't learn how to beat fools without the guns and stuff. Now we throw guns in the mix. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's over. It's easy.
Well, shit, he become a serial killer.
Hey, with a strong code, I can
right. And he got the
Mike.
I'd probably kill Alfred. Hell, he's dead apparently, spoiler alert, he's dead in the comics already. So I don't know. I think it'd be better to just go ahead, like Sale said, and Captain Kirk, and just go ahead, make him a better vigilante, and go ahead off Alfred. I mean, Batman's lost a lot already, right? Like he's experienced loss. He lost his parents. He lost Jason Todd. Got him back. Alfred, he'll lose. He might come back too. You never know in comics. I feel like that's the lesser of the two, if I had to choose. What about you though? You asked the question. What you doing?
Oh, I'm killing 4 million. I would have to kill Alfred. Like one 4 million. Like he just got to take that side. You know what I'm saying? And Batman just had to understand that shit. And I dare him to come after me. Like it was either your man's got to go or 4 million people. I think he might have to choose himself. He might be understanding. I don't know. Batman made some sacrifices. You never know.
I want to take my answer back now, man. I ain't thinking thoroughly through.
Nah, you just don't like. You probably got a list of 4 million. You probably got a list of 5 people that you wouldn't mind.
What would be the consequences if you killed Alfred? Like, what would Batman do after that? Did y'all think about that? Like, what are you gonna do after he watch you do it? What is he gonna do?
Hey,
he can't do nothing but take you to jail because you don't kill nobody.
He gonna beat your ass. Yeah, you gonna get an ass.
He going to jail. He going to prison.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, look, man.
But you also a hero though because you saved 4 million people.
Yeah, and if this was real life, I would sacrifice myself to get a better Batman. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You just have to
get a better Batman.
You can beat the brakes off my ass, put me in a coma, whatever's necessary, because he's gonna keep the world. He's gonna make the world a better place.
So basically, Batman ain't up to his full potential right now. So you want him to reach his.
Come on,
if it's been like that, man, you can be Superman.
Every 10 comics, you fighting the same criminals, bro. He ain't at his full potential. He need to. All right, let me stop. I'm not an advocate about it, because I'm getting too into this now. But yeah, okay.
That was a good icebreaker, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all for participating. Let's get it.
All right, well, let's jump into the topics, man. We got one very hot movie we got to start the discussion with, and that's Judas and the Black Messiah. I think I speak on behalf of everyone here. Is super excited for this movie. Could not wait for it to drop. And being that, we're a bunch of Chicago guys, I think we have a very unique perspective on the movie and the reality behind the movie and Fred Hampton's lasting legacy on Chicago. So I was really excited to jump into this topic and talk to you all about it. I just watched it last night. I got a ton of thoughts, but I wanted to start the discussion just asking you all as Blerds, before we even jump into the movie, how familiar were you all or not with the story of Fred Hampton before the movie dropped?
I was pretty familiar with Fred Hampton. I had read that book that they had a while ago. Some of the stuff I knew how the story was going to go. far as going into the movie. Some stuff I didn't know, but the main thing of what happened, what he did, and how his life was assassinated, I knew all of that. But some of the stuff, like I knew how old he was. I knew he was very young from the book I had read. But in the book, you don't really. I mean, you read about how powerful and stand up he was. You know what I'm saying? Because fearless.
Yeah.
Because he was fearless, man. Like the way when you see it, you know what I'm saying, he walked up to everybody with his chest up, you know, he didn't stutter. He meant what he said, you know what I'm saying, and people just respected him off the strength. I mean, even when they was trying to go against him, you know, they had the guns pointing at him and everything, he still had his head high. He meant what he said, you know. And that dude was strictly, if there was a picture for the people, he is that picture. You know what I'm saying? He is for the people, man. So yeah.
Definitely.
I think what stood out to me was his age. I didn't realize he was only 21 years old. Because if you watch him speak and you see pictures, you think this is a 30-some-year-old man, 40-some-year-old man. You know? So he held that. You know, I again, that's probably about all I knew about him. I wasn't too familiar with him. I was more into like Eldridge Cleaver and guys like that. But his story was amazing.
Yeah.
But I did have something to say about the movie, but I think I'm gonna say it a little later. I want to see if you guys
we're gonna jump.
we're
gonna jump into it in just a few. But go ahead, Cap.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with Landers on the age piece. Being a 21-year-old man and drawing the attention of the FBI.
Yeah.
Like you I think about who I was at that age, and I'm just like, you can sit back in astonishment to that idea, period.
Yeah.
Like at 21, I had an idea of what I wanted, you know, stuff to be for people that's around me, for people that look like me, and I'm fighting for that. And like what Landis said and Alex said, like holding your head up high, like it's just a beautiful concept, period. But it stands out. Like he's an exceptional man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In comparison, and when you really think about it. So
yeah, for sure.
I would say it's not too much that I know about him. You know, learning about the Black Panthers at a younger age, his story was always, you know, intriguing. And so going into the movie, it's not much that I wasn't expecting too much new information. I was just more interested in how it was gonna play out on camera. And then I don't know if you all remember Mr. Bracey
Earl
from
Bracey.
Western. Now I don't. I don't. Now he's because I don't know how true it is, and I don't want to like say he's not wasn't telling the truth, but he told I used to have conversations with him all the time about the Black Panthers, and he said he was a Panther, but he told that he introduced Fred Hampton and his girlfriend, like he introduced them. So I don't know if I was like hoping to see like a portrayal of Bracey in a sense on the film.
Shout out to Earl making the intro.
But yeah, that's pretty much it's not too much information I didn't really know about from Fred Hampton. So yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, go for it. Okay, so I thought that I knew everything there was to know, but the movie still taught me a lot that I didn't. I grew up, my father talking a lot about the Black Panther Party in Chicago. He used to actually joke with us to talk about how he and my uncle told my grandmother that they were going to join the Panthers at some point, and she went off on them and told them it ain't going to happen. Because everybody was scared of the consequences of being, a Panther in that time. And when you look at it now, I think we say, that's, that being that militant, enduring those times was easy, but it was tough. And a lot of parents, I think, feared for their children, being affiliated with the organization because they were seeing people being murdered, before Fred Hampton. Like, they had a few folks in the film that we saw who were shot and killed even before him. So I knew what happened to him. I knew how his story ended, but I didn't know, for instance, they were talking about the Rainbow Coalition that he built. I didn't realize that he had gone out to so many different groups, the Puerto Ricans, the white folks in Chicago, and was starting to build a coalition of people across the city to be a part of the movement. I knew the Black Panther story. I didn't know about the Rainbow Coalition. And to me, that's when I, looking at the film, I was like, wow. So that's really what I think put him on Hoover's radar. It's not just that he was a militant, but that he was actually reaching other groups of people. And that I think would have made him a threat, and if he would have been able to take that coalition and really mobilize it before they put him in jail, who knows how that would have impacted Chicago, because Chicago still today is one of the most segregated cities in the world. And that hasn't changed in the, 30, 40 years that he's been gone. So, it was very interesting from that standpoint. But now let's talk about the movie now a bit, because, I thought overall, if we're going to give our score now, out of the 6 Infinity Stones, I'd give this one a 5. I thought it was great. I thought it was an amazing film all throughout, strong performances. I take 1 stone off because I felt towards the end it dragged a little bit. I think some editing could have been done toward the end to shorten it just a bit. And I thought the soundtrack was amazing, especially the first half of the film. Second half, not so much. But I'll go into deeper detail about my thoughts of the movie. I want to hear you all's review, though. I'll kick it off with Jay. Jay, how'd you feel about it? What kind of score would you give it? What'd you think of the movie overall?
I'm still processing it, and I told myself I know we're reviewing a movie, but I don't know what kind of score I would give it, because I think it takes away the importance of it, and I just wanted to like nitpick. I think the film was great. I think it was amazing, actually, and so I don't know if I would give it a 6 for Infinity Stones, because I don't have any gripes with it. I thought the performances were amazing. I thought the way it was shot was pretty dope. I like how it tugged on your emotions. Maybe it was just me, because I get emotional about stuff like this, and I actually like saying things, because reading about what happened versus actually visualizing it is 2 different things. And I think personally that the execution was flawless. The soundtrack, I didn't mind the soundtrack on the second half of the movie. I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought it played into the elements. I don't think it dragged at all. I think it was the right pace. Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't honestly, I don't have anything wrong to say wrong about this movie. And I think it was a really good
I feel that. Yep. Let's see. Tobias Black, how'd you feel?
Yeah, I felt the movie. I don't have any gripes or anything for the movie, so I would give it a 6 Infinity Stones.
Nice.
Just like what Jay Supreme said, actually seeing it and how it went down, that's a whole nother animal, man. That was a different beast, man. Like, you read about it, you know the story, but when you actually see it, you know that he was killed in his sleep, assassinated in his sleep. But when you actually see it, man, it was like he was just, sleeping peacefully. You know what I'm saying? And then when you hear the cops just talking shit while they was doing it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, yo, this man. I mean, it tugged on everything for me, man. So I like the soundtrack. The first half of the soundtrack was the best, but with the way they used the music in the movie, it made sense. So I didn't have no problem with it in the movie. But everything else, man, I thought it was shot great. It didn't drag for me. Like, I was definitely in there, and learning things, like y'all said, that I didn't really know. I learned some new stuff in there. So I think it was 6 Infinity Stones. It was great to me. I have no gripes on it.
Nice. Circa 85, how'd you feel?
I get a movie of 4. You get 4 Infinity Stones for me. I took off some of the performances. Honestly, I didn't like Lakeith in this movie for some reason. I don't think his acting was just. It didn't hit me like it hit me in other movies for some reason. He just wasn't really landing a lot of stuff to me. I don't know what it was, but I thought Daniel Kaluuya did pretty good as Fred Hampton. He was pretty good, in certain aspects. And,
yeah.
But I want to say two things stood out to me. You heard Bobby Rush was a Black Panther and all that, but seeing him, like doing like coming up like that was amazing to me. Because I don't know if you remember, like Kurt and Mike had he would come to Bronzeville and talk to us all the time. He would just come and talk. He was this guy. I remember his son passed away, and we writing letters for his son and all that stuff. And just seeing him, in that role was just amazing to me.
Yeah, it was. And for those listening who may not be from Chicago or unaware, Bobby Rush is actually our congressman here in Chicago. He's my congressman, actually. And he was portrayed in the movie as one of Fred Hampton's closest friends in the movement, played by Darrell Gibson. And he's always, I think, been known to our elders as having been a Panther. That was part of what I think propelled his political career, but we didn't live through that, right? Like, we came in after much longer after he'd been in office. And so I think, knowing he was a Panther was one thing. Seeing him, like you said, going through this with Fred Hampton and how important he was to the party was something totally different. And you're right. I think that was really brought out in the film.
Another thing I want to add on, I don't know if y'all remember, it was a scene when Lil Rel character was in the bar.
Oh,
and he had crack cocaine. But I'm like, this is 1969. What is this man doing with crack cocaine? And that wasn't cocaine, crack.
Nah, it wasn't
in a little vial.
Nah. It was
sleeping.
It was like a drug.
Okay, so it wasn't crack.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank God.
Yeah.
Now that's something too, though. I was gonna say later. I didn't know that happened either. In terms of the assassination story, I knew that they shot him, in bed. I did not know that, that he had been drugged prior to that, or that they reported that. Didn't know.
Hey, I got a question too. My bad.
What's up?
The Crowns, were they a real? They was so all right. So were they real? They okay. Because I was thinking that they were like a cinematic version of the Stones or Black Stones.
Nah.
Okay.
We're real. The Crowns
and,
were real.
And they referenced the Stones and the GDs in the film. Yeah, they said both names of the groups. And so I think, because I had to ask my father about it, he was saying that they were more affiliated to parts of the West Side than they were in the South Side, and so that might be one reason we hadn't heard that organization mentioned much. But I thought that was powerful too, because a lot of times when you look at how these gangs were started, they're known for a lot of other stuff too, but there was an element of it that were, they were activists, or at least helping to support groups like the Black Panther to provide protection, and in some cases providing money. I think you all saw that when he gave over the money, tending to get Fred Hampton out of Chicago before he had to go to prison, and instead he used it towards that medical center, which again, didn't know that the medical center, that was a real medical center that it's been started by the Panthers on the West Side, that was named after the individual who was killed, Jimmy Palmer, in the movie, played by Ashton Sanders. So just real history now making more sense after seeing some of the stories. I thought was incredible. And by the way, one thing Circa said that I wanted to get y'all opinion on, being from Chicago, knowing how we talk and our dialect. Is it just me, or did y'all feel like both Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield really nailed the Chicago accent? Like, however we talk, whatever words we use, I felt that shit was really authentic. Am I the only one who caught that? Just everything that they would say, I was like, yo, this sounds Chicago as fuck. It's just
I think it was more so I don't mean to cut nobody off. I think it was more so not necessarily Chicago, but more so the time they were in, saying jive, like that smooth talk, pimp talk, you know what I'm saying? I think it was more so of that, which is probably was, throughout the US during that time, going into the, the Black Power movement, in the late, the late 60s, early 70s and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I want to talk more. I mean, if anybody else want to answer that question, No. Okay. I wanted so like I like so the main reason why I really give this film a 6 is because this movie wasn't necessarily about Fred Hampton. To me, this movie was about the FBI, the people that were trying to kill our leaders. And we don't get that side. We usually get when we have like movies like about Dr. King or any of our prominent leaders, it's more so about their struggle. They don't necessarily focus on the people that fear us and want to get rid of us and want to kill us. And they don't show the extent of which they want to do that. And so I think this movie showed J. Edgar Hoover, showed what COINTELPRO really was and how dangerous it was. And it also shows that our leaders, they may have knew something about and watching them, but they didn't really know how like how big of an issue that they were really causing. You know, and for this man to say to prevent a black Messiah, like they really thought like they feared us, and they really thought that what we were doing was was going to destroy America. And I think that this movie showed how you know, those forces behind it, and that's why I really give this movie a high score, because it wasn't one of those typical movies where our black leaders are doing something, then here comes a white savior. No, the white man was actually the enemy, the real enemy. You know what I'm saying? And we don't get those type of films. We don't get what really you know what I'm saying? Now I would have been pissed if that FBI agent somewhat like grew a conscience and did something else and tried to prevent Fred Hampton from dying or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm glad they stuck to the core issue, the core problem, and you know what really happened. It's you know it's to me it's you know it's a fucked up situation, man, because all we wanted was you know equality. You know what I'm saying? Equity. And that didn't mean that we wanted more than other people. We just want the same. We want the same level of opportunity. We want we don't want more than you. We just we want to be equal. And they thought that was dangerous. They thought that was worth people over. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, absolutely, it still exists. You know what I'm saying? The Chicago Police Department assassinated this man with the help of the FBI, and we still dealing with police brutality because these motherfuckers, like, I'm trying not to like,
let it out,
like because they fear us. You know what I'm saying? Like they fear us. They actually think like going for equality, going for equity is going to take something away from them, and that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sleep that night watching this movie because I was so angry and sad. And this man was like, he was 21 years old, and I'm thinking back, like, what was I doing at 21? I was fiery at 21, but I wasn't that like, I wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And then like how much time that I've wasted, you know, not for the cause. You know what I'm saying? There's one thing to talk about certain things. Like, we were like, I wasn't out there like these guys was trying to, you know, provide change. I'm trying to instill change for my kids to affect the world, but like I'm not doing nothing on an organization level. So I've been like contemplating a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm it just tugged on some emotions. Like, damn, really has changed since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? These people they still think that when we say Black Lives Matter, that it matter more than other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still like some shit that needs to change. And them doing this COINTELPRO, it makes you like skeptical of really trying to implement this change. You know what I'm saying? So
good.
part of my, you know,
I think what the issue is, Jeff, is
really,
that
I was really emotional watching this movie,
think,
man.
A lot of people in power fear an uprising. They like, well, we enslaved these people. We've done all these things to these people. You know, it's only a matter of time before, you know, they strike back. And I think that's where the fear comes from. They feel like, well, why ain't they did it yet? I don't think they realize how.
I agree, bro. Yeah.
I think they think we're like them. Because I feel like they feel like, well, we was in that situation. We'd have did this a long time ago. We'd have been did a, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think that's the mindset of a lot of black people. That revenge. That's their word.
They're worried about retaliation.
They fear retaliation.
Yeah. They think
that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, well, you see what happened? We didn't kill Eldridge Cleaver. You see what happened? We didn't kill Huey Newton. We didn't kill blah blah blah. You said on the phone, So
yeah.
I think it's a few things. I don't know that it's just one. Although I think that there is that fear of retaliation. I also think that it's a fear of them losing their position within this system that they've built for themselves. If you think about it, when they built this country on our labor, they built it so that they could they established this economy. They built this country for themselves, separated themselves from the British. They set these systems up so that their people can thrive and be wealthy in this country on the backs of everybody else. And I think them looking at the systems being dismantled now that they've given equal rights and opportunities and they're starting to kind of peel that back, the more that we are able to participate now in these systems, I think the more they are scared that they'll somehow lose their standing in it, that they'll be relinquishing their control. You got a lot of, white folks when they look at, us, asking for equality, equity, inclusion, that we're taking something from them, that we're taking a job from them, or from their kids, and the truth is that's always just been a lie, fabricated to make white folks angry and hateful towards those marginalized groups in this country, so that they have something more to fight for. But honestly speaking, I think when I looked at the film, it upset me too, like on those same levels. But one thing I want to say, Jay, is I've been thinking about this too, is, we had different experiences. We benefited from some of the movement work that Fred Hampton and others did before we were born. And so we were born into different circumstances. To be able to go on a predominantly white institution's campus and get an education at 2021 was a different experience than what Fred Hampton and others might have been allowed, right? We were in a different setup, different situation, and even in those conditions, we found ways to be active, to be involved. You know what I mean? Like we weren't here in Chicago building a Rainbow Coalition, but we was down in Macomb raising some hell, trying to make sure that black students at Western could,
facts.
So I just wanted to say that, like, we.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm not saying like what we is is less significant of what the Panthers did. All I was saying was like it was more of a reflection on like, damn, what happened to like my fiery side, you know what I'm saying, like as I got older, started having a family, kids, you know what I'm saying, like what happened for me, you know what I'm saying. So that was just me like looking in the mirror like, damn, you know what I'm saying, because it was just inspiration because he was 21, you know what I'm saying. I know what we did was great as well, but it was like, I'm not trying to compare.
No, I feel
wasn't, comparing the two. It was more so like later on in life, what are we doing now? You know what I'm saying? That was just for me. That was just,
it's a tough thing, and I feel you 100%. I go through the same myself. I think Mortal Men, the song by Kendrick, when he was interviewing Pac summed it up almost too perfect. And when I hit my 30s, it was like too eye-opening listening to him talk about how you really don't have 30-year-old activists, 30-something-year-old activists in the same way. You need young people. And like when I look at the movements across the board, they survive because of the passion and the energy of young folks. Because once you hit them 30s, it's going to look different, whether you want it to or not. You're going to have responsibilities, family, your energy ain't going to be the same, and you got a lot more to lose. When we was 21, we ain't really had shit to lose. We could get, banged up. We can get locked up. That shit happen to you now, your whole, family is going to suffer. So it's like, different considerations. And it's something that like during the era of Trump, I had to think through a lot, is like, what does activism for me look like at 30 something, right? Like what can I contribute toward the movement that is unique? And I, still trying to figure that out, but I feel you, there's movies like this will call you to question that, you know what I mean? But, But while before we switch gears on the topic of the movie, one other thing I just want to say, in terms of the performances and who I think the movie was really about, because I actually agreed with what you said about the movie really wasn't all about Fred Hampton. I honestly think you could take this movie and look at Lakeith Stanfield's character, Bill O'Neill, and there was a lot. There was nuance to how he handled his character. One thing I really liked about this movie is it didn't paint him as some villain. Like, we know he was an informant. We know that, he betrayed Fred Hampton. We did not know the circumstances behind it. And I thought it was just I thought it was handled very well, to where you didn't hate him. I never felt like I hated Lakeith Stanfield in the movie.
Oh, I did.
I didn't. I felt like I
did.
I would never want to be put in that position. But I don't agree with it. But I didn't hate him for it, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't hate what he represented, because I think it ate at him so much, and you could see the pain that he was going through, having to play that role. When they showed that interview at the end of it, the actual interview from the Eyes on the Prize documentary, I was just like blown away, and I did not know, is in terms of like stuff that you knew about the story and you didn't know. I knew he committed suicide. I don't know if you all know how. He actually just walked out on the Dan Ryan and Traffic. I didn't know it was right after that interview. I didn't know he or after it released. So he did the Eyes on the Prize, talk that shit about, I'm gonna let history judge, the type of man I am. And then as soon as it dropped, I mean, he couldn't take that. And I would never want that experience, but just being able to see it and understand how he was put in that position, how the FBI used him. I mean, it made it hard to hate him, because you saw how intentional the FBI was about using it. It ain't like, they were, just offering him a job. He didn't, he was facing some real time, and they trumped up some charges on him to make it even worse, so that they had this dangling over him. And, we could look at it and say, I would never do. But, I think that he handled that performance well. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. I don't want to keep, I don't know if I'm speaking before everybody else. But like, I thought I've always thought he was the enemy. Whether he was a tool, you know what I'm saying? Like the FBI, that's what they did. The COINTELPRO, they used our own people to infiltrate, right? Now, did he have much of a choice because he didn't want to go to jail? But like, it didn't really seem like he was remorseful until like the end, when he was like, damn, you want to kill him too? You know what I'm saying? That's when he was like more so struggling with that, because he didn't want to kill him. But like, he was like, yo, you got what you want. He's going to jail. Then it's like, yo, that ain't enough. You want to kill him too, because he was enjoying the cars. He was enjoying coming into that nice restaurant, eating steak. He was enjoying every time he went to the restaurant. He was like in a new suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was enjoying that. So I don't. That's why I was like, yo, he is the enemy. I thought he was a piece of shit because of what he was doing. And then for him to have the temerity to say, like, at least I was in the cause. I was part of this, and I was doing that. Like, no, you was a rat. You was a rat. And how dare you say you was for the cause when you was doing what you was doing? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you was trying to, like, give him some sympathy towards him, but like, I don't have any sympathy for him. Now, maybe it doesn't mean just being cold-hearted, but like, the whole time I'm like, man, fuck this dude. And that's just how I feel.
I mean, you playing off people's ignorance too, and
for sure, yeah.
I think in that particular case too, like in many cases, I mean, you got people that's higher, right, that take advantage of simplicity of people and play off of that. And so he may have been weak-minded and all that stuff, but I always look at the person that inflicts or provides that situation, and then you think about the choices that they make within it. Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. He was weak, but at the same time, I mean, it's a lot of ignorant folks out here that's doing stuff because they can't see. All they can see is how it benefits them in the moment versus what's going to be the outcome. Until he saw that outcome, like what you were saying, that's the only time he was like, damn, like, oh, okay, all this dude was going to do is go to jail. And then, I mean, that shit ending your life like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he suffered the burden of it, to me. I mean, of his choices. And what conclusion he come to? I can't even live this life no more because I made a shitty decisions in my past. So I think
But look how long. Yeah,
yeah.
my bad, bro. I think he passed away in 1992. This happened 20 years before. Almost 30. You know what I'm saying? So like you was cool up until that point until you saw the actual documentary. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not trying to say I'm less sympathetic, for him ending his life, anything like that, because suicide is real. That's but like I don't know how maybe he wasn't, but like 20 years and passed before, you know what I'm saying? Before you actually saw, this documentary. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you still live with yourself up until that point. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I mean,
man. I don't know. I think they all was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not.
Just,
yeah, I ain't
like fuck them all. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to say like it's just him. I'm saying fuck the dude that was pulling the strings. Fuck J. Edgar Hoover. Fuck everybody that was in that FBI. Like fuck all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real.
That's true, man. I mean, I'm not putting down like everything that he did. Like he is a piece of shit for that. But if you look at the ages, man, Fred Hampton was 21.
Yep.
Will was what 17.
Yep.
You put yourself in that mind state, man. Like right now at our age now, we always talk about I ain't never going to jail.
Right.
I'll kill myself if I go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So when you put yourself in their age and that mindset, man, like he ain't want to go to jail, man. You 17 years old, man.
Yep.
You think you a kid. You don't want to go to jail, man. I mean, and I'm not taking away from what he did, for sure. And then I also think that he kind of really recognized he really messed up at that scene when Fred Hampton came out of jail, and he was and they was in the church, and he was giving that speech, and old boy was in there, and remember he told everybody raise their hand, raise their fist up. He said black power, and the white cop was in there, and Lakeith was saying it. I think he kind of realized it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made this big mistake. You know what I'm saying? I need to, you know what I'm saying? I probably need to change up. I think that's where he really saw his big mistake right there. Early
I know
in
he
the
was
movie.
17. That changed my perspective too.
Yeah, they was young. He was 17, bro.
Yeah.
17.
These kids,
I
man.
didn't know he was 17.
And that's the thing too, is like Lakeith, I think because these are older actors playing them, we forget, right, that these are man. I mean, but it's also true to life, because like we were saying earlier, pictures of Fred Hampton will make you think that he was older than 21. So I think it's easy to say like, they should be held accountable for their decisions. Fuck them. But when I look at it as a 17-year-old kid, not knowing any better, and you have grown ass men like J. Edgar Hoover who have found ways, to systematically take people from their community and put them into organizations to be informants, and they figured out ways to pressure them. Hey, no 17-year-old wants to hear that they got to spend 5 years in jail. They don't know their rights and their laws enough to know that these are bullshit charges. So if you put pressure on the right person, you can flip them and turn them informant. And they did that to him, and it wasn't until he got it. Because if you remember, like in the beginning of the movie, they asked him, how'd you feel about Dr. King dying? How'd you feel about Malcolm? And you could tell, 17, he didn't really know. Like he was like, yeah, I heard about it, but why are you asking me, that kind of thing. He didn't know the significance of the movement at 17 and how much work the Panthers were doing. It wasn't until he actually got involved in it and he started to see the work that Fred Hampton was doing that he was like, he kept telling them like, they're not terrorists. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't what you think it is. Now they continue to pressure him, and more he gave them information. But I'm just looking at it as some kids who were exploited to essentially be, used by the government in that way. And I thought Lakeith did a great job. And one last thing I want to say about performances too, really quick, is, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh.
No, you good, Mike. Yo,
I know.
one last thing.
We love this movie though. I was gonna say this
sure.
earlier. Deborah Johnson's character, who was played by Dominique Fishback, she I think did a great job too. I did not want to move on until we talked about that sister because she's done some amazing work. I saw her in Project Power on Netflix, which I thought she did a good job in that. But she really shined in this as Fred Hampton's girlfriend. And I thought she did an amazing job in a portrayal. Like I said, I didn't feel like the movie was totally about Fred. Her talking about being a mother of someone who had told the world that he had given himself and his life and his body to the movement, and her knowing that she's bringing a child into the world in the midst of that. I don't think that story gets told enough either. As mothers, like the story of the wives in the situations with these men who have decided that their lives are being devoted to the movement. I thought she did a great job portraying that as well. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you real quick? They from what I've heard, she was on set like every day when they were creating this movie.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And Fred Hampton.
Yeah, I was really glad at the end that they told the story, the legacy, and how his son is now still involved in the new Black Panther organization, and that she remained involved. So that was really, really well done. Great film. Recommend everybody see it. Let's transition to a different movie real quick before we jump out of the segment and talk about one that's more on the relationship side. It is Valentine's Day, so there might be some folks pulling up to Netflix looking for something to watch with their significant other. And one of the options that Netflix has given us is called Malcolm and Marie. It is a movie with literally two characters. If you haven't seen it already, it is John David Washington and Zendaya, and that is it. The two actors in the film. And I wouldn't even call this a romantic film. It is a drama between two people having an argument that lasts an entire night. And I know a few of us have seen it. Before I give my review, I just want to ask how y'all felt about the movie and the score that you to give it. Cap, I think I'm going to start it off with you, brother. How'd you feel about Malcolm and Marie?
It was a character study to me. A very dysfunctional relationship. I think it highlighted what can go well in a conversation in moments and what can go terribly wrong in a conversation in moments. What would I give it? I'll probably get that thing about 3 Infinity Stones out of the 6 it could possibly get. I think the performances were. I think Zendaya was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought she did an extremely good job on the acting side. I thought
John David Washington.
John David Washington. I think he was like up and down for me. Like I was feeling him in some moments, and some moments I was looking like, yo, bro, are you playing a character from your last 3 movies? Are you the guy from what is it? The Klansman joint? Black Klansman.
Come on.
Look, I'm sorry. Look. I thought he did good too, but I would say like it wasn't consistent throughout the movie, like how I felt about his acting to me.
Wow.
But I give it about 3. 3 out.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 out of 6.
Jay, how'd you feel about it?
Well, I thought John David Washington was great. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't think he was going in and out of it. Like I thought his soliloquies were amazing. I thought like, his when he first got his review from the LA Times writer, like how do you remember your lines for that long?
Right.
And it was just one shot. Like I thought that was like the acting. I thought the acting was great. I thought the dialogue between the two was great. Of course, it was like a toxic relationship, but like just hearing them talk, I thought it was great. I thought the way it was shot, the black and white, and the way certain camera angles were great. I thought it was a great, like Sal said, a great character study. It didn't really feel like a movie, but I would give it maybe
Wow,
five
pretty
out of
high.
6. I thought Zendaya was amazing. I thought John David Washington was amazing. Like, I don't really have any gripes with this movie. Like, I thought it was great, especially, I want to see. I want a prequel. I want to know like what I want to see what really happened in the past, because they was like talking about, she was sleeping with somebody after an NA meeting. And he
Yeah.
was banging chicks in a heart bathtub. Like, I want to actually like see their
Yeah.
struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was great. I don't really have any issues with the actual movie. That's just, we could talk about what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Soon,
Yeah,
but, like,
man.
that's my review.
I
Sale.
Cap made it. Cap made me, like, when he started talking about it, he made me hesitant, because I'm like, yo, I was gonna say the opposite. I actually thought John David Washington did a great job. I thought Zendaya did a great job too, but I thought the reverse was true. I thought John David Washington brought an incredible performance, and Zendaya had parts that I was like, I think she could have played that scene up a bit more. But it was, all in all, I would give the movie probably 3 Infinity Stones too, because it's not a film that I would sit and watch again. Like, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, it was a good character study. I like the way it was shot. But it was very toxic, and it's not something I could, like, I give 5s and 6s to stuff that I could sit and watch again. If this movie ever, like, I would never go back in Netflix and look for this movie to watch. It didn't rise to that level for me, but it was entertaining. It was, it was worth watching the performances. The script I felt was real. Like, the conversation they was having was toxic as fuck, but I don't think any one of them held any punches. I mean, they was both saying shit to each other that was like, wow, he really just went and told her about all the exes that he based this movie off of. And she didn't hold back either. Talk about his career and how how he looks for others for validation and don't believe in himself. I mean, she tore him down on many levels. It was a hard film to watch. Both sides was tearing each other down, and it's not a romantic. I think that's the thing that I would say the most about it is, like, don't go into this thinking this is a romantic movie that you're gonna watch on Valentine's Day. If you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this one on Valentine's Day, but watch it.
It depends though, because you could kind of go into that and then have a conversation. Because I think for any couple, no matter how dope you think you are, like, as a couple, like, you had those moments where you just don't let go of the moment, and it bleeds into something else, into something else. So that's what I was saying. Like, I just think it's a dope character study, because it's people that go days on the same joint. It's just evolved. They got all their rocks off that night.
That's real.
Yeah,
for sure. It was like 2:00 in the morning.
It was pretty dope to watch, because I'm looking like, yo, their endurance is
Right.
unmatched to me. Bro, she had to soak in the bath. She had to soak in the bath just to recover. She was lit up. Everybody had to eat some macaroni before he went hard. You know what I mean? So I'm just like,
weak ass macaroni, man.
Hey, bro, she a keeper, bro.
Right.
She still made that damn macaroni after shit it all on her, man.
Ate one box of Kraft.
Yes, like, they were really mean to each other, but it was like they were pulling it out of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, since you gonna go low, I'm gonna go low. You really want me to do this? And then he go low, then she go even lower. Like, it was like, God damn. And the whole time, all my man was just trying to smash. The whole time he was just trying to get some. And then, like, it was, to me, it was just so great, because when they was about to do it, like, on the floor, he was like, yo, I gotta use the bathroom, think positive thoughts. And then the camera just stayed on her. And then you just saw her emotion, and her face just went right back, those negative thoughts, and she started to cry. He came out the bathroom, was like, she said something. He just took a deep breath. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, damn. So, like, when you think something is over with, it ain't over with. And all he had to do was say thank you. You know what I'm saying? That thank you speech that she said.
Yeah.
I felt that shit, yo. Like, she was like, just thank you. You know what I'm saying? All them thank yous that shit was real, man. You say thank you sometimes just off, the small things that, your significant do around the house or in your relationship, sometimes you forget to say thank you for those
right.
small things. You know what I'm saying? But he forgot to say thank you at the biggest moment of his career, and she felt that shit like, yo, that was fucked up. And then it made him like realize that shit, like, you know what, you right.
And I don't know anybody that wouldn't have heard some words
crazy
behind that. I mean, I could imagine you go up there, give a speech for something that passionate, and that was, whether he wanted to admit it, was fully based on her, or just a part of it. I mean, she was involved in it, you know, and so, hey,
that acting scene she did in the middle when she had
crazy,
the knife.
right?
I'm like, and he thought he was
right.
He thought she was for real, man. And she basically like seen. He was like, well, why the hell you didn't do that in the audition?
She like, I just wanted you to
that
know.
Shit was funny.
She did,
but she killed that part. She killed that shit. Like, I just wanted you to know, like, if you would have, I would have made that shit better.
Facts,
you know, and
Facts.
that's dope. I thought
that
was dope.
Is
she held her own. I feel like they both held their own. I don't feel like one was carrying the other. That's just me.
No. Look, I ain't say that. I ain't say that she carried him. I just thought that Zendaya, she was more consistent for me throughout the movie. It's like, you know, with singing, man, people that can hit these different octaves. It's feel like, is he doing this because of the character, or is he doing this because this is all he has to give? And he's really good in those pockets. But I feel like what Mike was saying, like, you feel like she could have gave more in certain parts. I felt the same way about him. I feel like he got about 2 keys he could hit acting, and I ain't really seen like that passion or like some form of anger. It's, you know, but that's just me nitpicking. He a good actor.
All right. All right, we're gonna switch gears and talk about some TV shows. Well, just really one in particular. That is, I mean, any Blerd is talking about WandaVision. I think we've all been able to now just marvel at whatever the writing, the direction is. We are going to discuss some spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen the most recent episode, you might want to fast forward. But let's dig into WandaVision a bit. So far this season, in my opinion, has been dope as hell. This week, we finally got a chance to see Vision come into the realization that his wife has created this nonsense and tried to get out and get help for the people who are trapped in this experience that she's built. We saw the Piotr, her brother, you know, him basically being in on the whole thing, but willing to play ball, find out, like, why are you, you know, like asking his sister, like, okay, it's cool, you, like, applaud you for this, but like, why'd you do it? Like, what's going on with you, kind of thing. I thought hands down this episode is still kind of peeling the onion layer back. They didn't give you everything, but they just put Wanda's powers on full display. When she got mad at the end, expanded that joint, and you saw her take over Westview, I think, you know, it's definitely gonna change some things. There are a lot of Easter eggs we could talk about, but I want to ask the Blerds first. How'd y'all feel about the episode? Am I overhyping it, or was this shit as dope as I'm saying it was? Tobias Black, I'm gonna kick it off with you.
First off, I think the direction that Marvel is doing with this show is very different. You not hyping it up. I think it's dope. I ain't gonna lie, when we first started watching it, I'm like, all right, I don't know how I'm gonna, you know,
get through
get through this one. But through each episode, it's like watching a big game of I Spy or Clue. You know what I'm saying? And I applaud Marvel for that, because, you know, a lot of people kept complaining about, oh, Marvel got the same formula with all their movies, but now they really switched it up. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's very interesting. The last episode to me was great, man. The last 2 episodes were great. Both of them were, you know, 6 out of 6 Infinity Stones to me. But my theory, could we talk about theories?
Yeah, let's do it.
So my theory is Wanda is creating mutants. So I think everybody in Westview is mutants, but they haven't got their powers, expanding their powers. Because remember when Monica Rambeau, when she went through the portal, what's her name was saying her molecules and everything, her body was changing.
Yeah.
So I think everybody that's going through it, you know, their DNA and everything is changing and everything, and she's creating mutants. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure Monica is not a mutant, right? She's like Photon or something like that, or Spectra.
Spectrum.
Okay. So yeah, I think and then when she expanded the bubble, more people got in there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking this is how they're gonna bring in the mutants like that. She created the mutants. That's my theory, and I think that's a really clever, dope way of bringing in mutants. And then the other thing is, you know, they don't like Brie Larson. You know what I'm saying? So this would be a dope way to get Brie Larson up out of here. Rogue steals her powers. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how we get the mutants in. Rogue.
Who didn't like Brie Larson?
Brie Larson was terrible,
really?
bro. And then she got all that flack online. She said something crazy. She said
this week I've only heard about the girl that they kicked off of Mandalorian. I didn't hear anything about Brie Larson. I'm not putting it past her, but I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I think she got like some public flack. Man. Like they don't like Brie Larson. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a great way to get up out of here and make Monica Rambeau the new Captain Marvel.
Yep.
So
good theories. Cap, I know you just watched it. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was good, man. It's still like I don't know, after that reveal, I guess I wanted a little bit more from the Pietro type side, but it seemed like she conjured him to kind of challenge what she doing. Like her self-conscious almost. I like the vision part more than anything. I like his whole breakdown and him wanting to warn everybody. I don't really have no grand theories like Tobias got, but I do think it's somebody else playing the background on it. I don't think Wanda is just. I think somebody played off of her grief. You know what I mean? And like is kind of putting subtle things in place to make her do what she's doing. I don't think it's mind control or anything like that though. But I do think somebody playing off her grief in that essence. Overall, WandaVision is cool. I think by the time it ends, we're gonna be greatly satisfied. I do think they fucking with us though. I think they drop a little gem every episode to have us keep coming back. Which is cute, what they supposed to do, but motherfuckers see like 10 seconds of an episode, be like, yo, did you see the WandaVision? And that shit like, all right, that 10 seconds was cool, but the rest of the episode was like,
Really?
Like even them child actors trash to me. Like I wanted to kick them into a haystack, bro. Really? No child abuse, don't call it. But like that part, but the gems they place in Marvel fashion are very clever, very good, and it fits a TV show. And I gotta take my mind outside of one of that movie closure and just deal with what the fuck I'm getting. I'm getting me a 10-hour
slow burn.
Slow burn. I'm okay with that.
Yep. Circa 85, how you feel about it?
That show, honestly, I watch it in vain because y'all watch it, and I don't want to come on completely clueless. But I did find one thing interesting. She was like, they mentioned a little boy with spikes who when they was kids. Who was the little boy with the spiky skin? Are they like talking about mutants or something or what? What are they talking about? So who was the boy with the spiky skin? Who y'all think that was? Yeah, she was saying
I remember that. So wait, were you saying
something about a little kid was messing with them when they was young? A kid with like spiky skin, and I think they was talking about some mutants or something. So Tobias might be on to something. I fought him to the end 2 weeks ago. I fought him like, no, it ain't that deep, but it might be that deep. Anytime they mention the mutants now, so I think it's about I don't know what they was talking about with spiky skin. I don't know.
I'm just waiting for them to say mutants now.
You got any idea? Anybody?
Yeah. Nope. We're gonna see.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
Joint. I don't like that.
It's game and snake.
No. I mean, I like Alex's theory, but I wouldn't like if they did it that way. I would be a little disappointed. But
we'll see. I saved the best for last, Jay. I'm interested to hear your theory, man. You and I we've talked about this, so I want to hear it, man. How'd you feel about this episode?
It's this last episode again. Like
overhyped.
Like this last episode, the episode before last, when Quicksilver showed up at the end, it's over. Like, it's not the greatest thing that we've seen on Marvel TV.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? And the way y'all talk about it, it's like, yo, this shit the greatest ever. You know what I'm like? It's been cool. Like, it's been good. They've been doing enough to keep us interested, but like they're not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they dragging it out, and like, I get it's a TV show, but like, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much longer, how much more, how many more episodes are you just gonna drop one piece at a time to say like, okay, Wanda's controlling this reality. Okay, now she just pushed the reality a little further. Okay, Vision been figuring shit out for like the past 4 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that she's controlling them now. So now what? We know that she's holding these people against their will.
Do we?
So now what? You understand what I'm saying? We know Vision knows what the hell is going on. So now what? You understand? Like, so they're not doing it. Now we got Quicksilver for episode in 10 seconds. Now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not moving it fast enough. And then I feel it's gonna be rushed at the end because maybe not gonna be rushed because they said that the last 2 or 3 episodes gonna be an hour long, but then it's gonna be a boring episode, and then it's gonna be a cliffhanger each episode. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. If I had to rate the show, I'll probably get 3.5, maybe 4 stones. It's not the best Marvel TV series. Is it better than Daredevil? No. Is it better than Jessica Jones? No. Is it better than first season of Luke Cage? No. Is it better than Punisher? No. Is it better than Agents of Shield? Maybe.
Is it better than Iron Fist?
Is it better than Agent Carter? Possibly. Like, it's not. Yeah, like, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest TV show ever. And then I want to say this. Tobias Black, I think that's a interesting theory, but that would be trash. If they make Wanda create mutants through this false reality, that would be some of the dumbest writing that I've ever seen play out. Because we just seen, first they were saying like whatever Wanda create is real. So they took out that little weapon that they took inside, and it came out and it's under that force field, right? But then they said that whatever she's creating is real people. But when Vision tried to leave, he was fucking dying. So if you're going to create mutants, how will they survive outside that reality? It's going to be all for nothing once she wakes up, or once she like not have that reality. Everything that she's created is going to have to go back to not existing. Like, there's not going to make sense. So we got Quicksilver. He's not going to be able to survive outside of fucking Westview, because we just saw Vision try to leave and he was fucking dying. So what are they really doing? This is just a big ass tease for nothing. I want to know how they're gonna wrap this up and how it was gonna end.
Well,
I
would say this though. All right, her being able to expand the spear is something we all.
It's interesting.
That's beyond interesting. We don't know the limits of her powers. So she did that as an active choice based on desperation, right? So you think about House of M. Yeah. When I saw her expand it, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, bro, like, what if she just do this for the entire world? And to Alex's point, you think about her manipulating reality in essence within that spear, right? She could do whatever she want within the spear. But you think about the 2 movies that's coming out. You got Doctor Strange dealing with multiple realities, multiple universes. You got Spider-Verse dealing with multiple realities, multiple universes. So the way they should bring in mutants, I know Wanda gonna be, at least in the Doctor Strange one, it should be some culminating thing that combines a universe that has mutants to me. Like, but
it's unfortunate they have to do that though, because of the dumb decisions Marvel made early on trying to get this shit off. You know what I'm saying? So like my is they gonna create this shit, but like for how long? Like, she's gonna do, we know how House of M end. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like they're doing this to bring in mutants and then not bring in mutants. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the bigger issue that I have. It's like, yeah, they're doing this Into the Spider-Verse. Doctor Strange, his own realities. So which is gonna be the real reality? You understand what I'm saying? And then once it's the real reality, are we gonna have, because I'm still tired of not having mutants. They haven't even said fucking mutants. They still fucking miracles. You understand what I'm saying? So like I'm looking beyond episode 6. I'm trying to figure out how they gonna make this shit make sense in a sense. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not excited about it because if it is what I think it's gonna be, which is gonna be some bullshit, then it's gonna be all for that. And I'm less optimistic because they still ain't said fucking mutants. I just want fucking Wolverine. Fucking I want
hold on. Wait 1 second.
I want
one damn second. Did Cyclops almost come out your
almost
said Cyclops. Almost said that.
After all the shit
you Supreme, J. Jeffrey Supreme, don't you dare. You Cyclops.
Almost. We all X-Men fans, and I know I can speak for everybody to say that we just want X-Men done. But you know what I'm saying? And if it's not gonna be done the right way, like what the fuck are we really doing this shit? That's just how I'm looking at it.
I wouldn't say patient, but it's like, bro, they just got the rights yesterday. Like they just got the rights.
It's been 20 years, goddammit,
bro.
I don't have to be patient.
You acting like Fox gave them the rights 20 years ago to this shit. Like they just got the franchise back. And it's not.
Whose fucking fault is that?
It was a business decision. I don't care whose fault it was. It's just the way. It's the reality of what we living through. I'm glad that it's no longer split. I'm glad that it's no longer split through Fox and Sony and. I'm glad it's all consolidated.
It sounds cool.
But we knew from the start that they couldn't now that they own it all, pretend like mutants existed in the same universe the whole time because it's never been referenced. So they had to be intentional with how do we incorporate these two very different franchises into one umbrella. And it's not going to all get solved, but it's not all going to get solved in WandaVision. That's the thing. People like this is one television show out of like 3 that they've got lined up this year. Like they're not going to give you all of those answers in one season, bro. It's gonna get incorporated. And one thing that I want to say too is like in terms of your theory, I think it's too. Well, you were saying that like Wanda is controlling everything, and that if it goes the way that you think it will, it's gonna be dumb. Those are your words. Like you thought it'd be dumb for them to bring mutants in this way. I was gonna say.
Because they won't exist. They won't exist for real.
But what I'm saying is that's a theory, and what I'm saying is that I don't think will happen. Like I don't think that they're going to go a direction of saying Wanda has created mutants through her show. That's not the impression I'm getting. Mutants had existed. If they're going to bring Pietro into this, like the one from Fox, that would mean that there have been mutants prior, and that she is in the middle of it somehow. There are fan theories out there that say that there's someone else controlling the strings, that she is being used in the show, and that's why she can't explain.
So how do you think mutants is going to exist?
Everybody has their own theories right now. What I'm saying is, my theory is that she's being used, whether that's through the Mind Stone or Mephisto or some other controlling factor.
I'm saying, how are mutants? No, that's not my question. How are mutants are going to exist?
What's your theory? We don't know. My theory is that she's not going to create them. I don't have that theory. I think it'll be more likely that they merge different universes, and this whole multiverse idea that they're mentioning is going to be a part of this, that they are merging 2 different universes into one. How that happens, I don't know.
The last Avenger movie, all the timelines got messed up with them going back in time, and maybe that's how the dimensions happened. They went back in time in the last Avengers movie.
Wait, what?
Right,
I like that.
Loki went back in time. Cap went back in time. Yeah. They all went back in time.
Did that?
So I'm saying, is that possible? Is that how the multi-dimensional come up? Is it possible? I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, right? What else makes sense? Seriously, because I mean, y'all read comic books, y'all know more than me.
So that would create a problem. No. That's not how they're not following the comics. So listen, here's my thing. That's what you just said, Landers, is dope, right? However, that creates a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So if they, because listen, no. Listen, I'm saying the problem inside. That's a movie problem. That's a plot problem as far as like, oh shit, they went back in time. We gotta fix these alternate universes. You understand? We gotta fix these alternate timelines, right? So if they gotta go back and actually fix the timeline, whatever exists within that timeline, it will cease to exist. Trying to fix it. So what I'm saying is that will be all for nothing. If we get mutants because of these alternate timelines, and then they have to go and like figure out how to fix these timelines, mutants are still not going to exist in the end because they got to fix the shit. That's the problem that I'm having, because why not be creative to bring mutants in and let them exist forever versus having to, oh shit, we got Wolverine now because of this alternate timeline.
Because how would you explain that, Jeff? How would you explain it? If you say let's just bring them in, how do you explain it?
We don't know what Loki did. We don't know what Cap did.
We
just don't know.
It ain't let's say they existed. How do the Avengers exist at the same time as the X-Men without an explanation? How?
Because you know how they exist, because I'm not dumb.
So look, all right, the whole point of X-Men mutants is some form of like they oppressed in some way based on what they are, the race of people or whatever, right? All right, so motherfuckers popping up in the Marvel universe, they gone for 5 years, they come back. You know what I mean? That was the whole storyline, and the world had to adjust. Imagine if something like that happened in terms of grand scale merger of a universe and this whole new race of people that's elite. They may be a minority, but they are elite in essence, come into the world of right. Yeah, and if they do it that way, it's cool. But the point about X-Men, if they would do a disservice to X-Men if they don't tackle it from a way where the world fears them as a whole, right? That's the X-Men thing. They just as good as heroes, but they are oppressed. They are an oppressed race of people. So if they don't capture that, whatever way they swing it, that's when I'm gonna be real pissed off. If they come in glorifying,
but you're saying I agree. But the thing is, if they just pretend like mutants have been there the whole time, then you miss that opportunity to build that. Like I want what Sale's talking about too, but they can't do that if they just say that mutants have been here the whole time. They have to think of a way to slowly incorporate it so that there's that fear of mutants. But I think they could use that. Well, but that's the thing. I think they could use that to their advantage. However they do it. Let's say it's a multiverse. Hold on. Let's say it's a multiverse, a timeline. But because they're not going to give us the answer right away, it's going to breed fear among the people in these circumstances, right? Like that's going to be the fear part that Sale's talking about, is like, where are these people coming from? Who are these people with this X gene? If that answer doesn't get told, then it breeds that fear in the universe that is the catalyst for why an X-Men was formed. So I'm just saying, like, this could be a smart way of them doing it by not fully explaining it right away, leaving it to mystery, so that even the people that's living through it have to figure out what the fuck is going, like, who are these people with this X gene? And then that begins to create the foundation for there being a Magneto and a Charles Xavier. Like that builds the foundation of mutants being persecuted. You can't do that if you just say they were here the whole time, now they're together, and we just have to pretend. So that I think it could happen this way, but we're not going to get the full answer right away as fans, and the people in the characters aren't going to get the answers all the way, right away.
Look what the show is doing. We got heavy dialogue, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got their different theories, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes this show so dope and great, man.
That's real.
We ain't being spoon-fed. We ain't being spoon-fed the full course on one day. You know what I'm saying? Everybody drawing up mystery, drawing up theory, drawing up speculation each week. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Marvel trying to do. And I think that was smart.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk to him, Tobias.
That was smart.
Talk to him.
Marvel got the formula, bro. DC need to step it up. And I hope they step it. I hope they step it up with this Justice League. I am a fan. I hope Justice League is great. The Snyder version. I hope it's great, bro.
Few minutes left, and I want Tobias Black to have a section. We got to cover music this week. Having Tobias Black on, we can talk about something I wanted to talk about last episode, but giving a tribute to an artist that we lost during our break, during our hiatus, and one that's being celebrated this month. So I'm gonna kick it over to Tobias Black.
That was a quick turnover, man.
Had to do it.
But oh yeah. So we had recently lost arguably one of the best underground hip hop artists, MF Doom, all caps.
Hey, got the mask.
Formerly, yeah, I got the mask right here. You know, but his real name was Daniel Dumile, born 1971, passed October 31st, which was crazy because nobody, when they announced it, it was like a month later when they announced when he passed.
Right.
So they kept that under wraps for a while. And the crazy thing about it, you know, was, you know, Doom always, he plays these type of villainy. He plays this villainy character, right? So
Right.
the reason why he wears the mask, you know, he positions himself as an enemy, not only to the music industry, but also of dominant constructions of identity that regulate him as a black man to second-class citizenship. So, you know, I remember one time he had that concert where he sent in a stand-in. It wasn't him, you know, but he tried to make it. He was trying to tell people, you know, it ain't just me. It's the character that I drew up. You know what I'm saying? So anybody could wear the mask. Anybody could be Doom, MF Doom. So it just, when Doom, you know what I'm saying, when he passed, it's just way heavy on me, man, because he was like one of us. You know what I'm saying? Doom was a Blerd. You know what I'm saying? He was in the comic books. Yep. And he was just one of those rarity type of dudes that just loved what he did, man, and wasn't trying to be, you know, like celebrity status. You know, He wasn't buying ice and talking about, you know, driving cars, the cars and $1 million toilets and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just into hip hop, into his character, and into his music. You know, a lot of people would say Doom was an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? But dude was just dope, man. You know, he was formerly, I don't know, a lot of people know he was formerly from the group KMD.
No, I didn't know he was in KMD.
And he did the you know, the famous song Gas Face. You know, he was Zev Love. He had like a bunch of names. He was Zev Love. He was King Ghidorah, Ghidorah, you know, at one point, and then he became MF Doom. You know, and I just want to say, you know, it was just so dope that he used that identity, and Marvel didn't come at him at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Marvel let him do whatever he want with Victor Von Doom. You know. So yeah, man. So I just want to, you know, pay a little tribute, man. If anybody, a little shout out, you know, anybody had like a favorite album that they like from him?
Well, I got into Doom a little late, man. So I didn't find out about Doom, you know, because he was so underground. It took a while to get around to me, you know. But I think my intro to him was the album Operation Doomsday. And like you said, you know, one thing I appreciated about his music and about his persona was how it was, you know, it was Blerd related. It was like if one of us was making music, talking about, you know, comics and incorporating Blerd shit into rhyme. He did that masterfully. Doomsdays, you know, some of the samples that he cleared, you know, that, you know, were just so soulful, man. I knew I was late coming, you know, into MF Doom, but I appreciate him. And I was shocked, just like you mentioned, when they mentioned that he passed, and it had been in like October, and like we didn't find out until like, you know, the winter that he had passed. But I thought it was interesting. Like, he went out in the same fashion that he was in, like in terms of like his personal life always being private and him not showing much of his face, not really, you know, being out there in the public eye. You know, for him to have been gone that long before the world was able to find out, you know, letting his family grieve and all that, it was, you know, it was an example of how he lived, how he wanted privacy, and how his, you know, he was able to give that to his family so that they could grieve before the rest of the world could grieve with them, which I thought was pretty cool.
If I got to recommend a Dome album to people who don't know who he is precisely and they just want to check him out, listen to the Food album. It's a classic. It's just Food or Food.
Food. Yeah.
I mean, just all the way through. Deep Fried Friends is probably my favorite song he ever did. it's so much truth in that song. But Doom was definitely a
Yeah.
legend. Definitely a legend. R.I.P. to that brother.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a great that's a great recommendation right there.
It's
Cause
a classic.
I always listen to that album first. But the first song that ever put me on Doom was Doomsday, the one where he sampled Sade.
Yep.
That when
Yep.
I was lost to
Yep.
you.
That's the
What
sample
was
I
it?
was
Kiss of
talking
Life.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's what really brought me on him. Then I'm like, man, this dude, he doing what I want to do. He had like all the Marvel samples on there, you know what I'm saying? And the
The
it was just
cartoons,
dope.
Spider-Man and stuff
Yeah.
back in the day. Yeah.
And he signed with Adult Swim too.
Oh yeah, he sure
And
did.
he did the Danger Doom with Adult Swim. So he had all the Adult Swim characters on there. And that's how I got up on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's how I started watching that. It was through Doom.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, man. Hip hop lost a great one, and that was
Yeah, that was a big one.
that was tough, man. And being in the month of February, we also celebrating another one that going too soon.
Oh yeah, Jay Dilla, James
Right.
DeWitt Yancey, aka Dilla Dog, aka JD. You know, he was
Sir.
born February. It's crazy because he was born February 7th, and he died February 10th.
Wow.
You know, so that's why it's Dilla month in February. You know, so
Wow.
everybody pay homage to Dilla, play all his music, you know, all his beats and everything. Top 3 producer of all time to me.
Top 3.
That's me right there.
Top 3.
Top 3. I think your favorite producer will mention Dilla in their top 3.
Yep.
Anybody's favorite producer.
Yep.
The dude was just so eclectic with his music, man. He had like decades worth of catalog in his mind to where he sampled, because you don't hear that type of sampling like today like that no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not commercially, but you really got to dig deep to hear that.
Right.
But dude used to take like 3 to 4 samples, you know what I'm saying, and chop them up and make one song. Nowadays, you just hear people sample one song. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They chop up that one. He used to take 3, 4 samples that fit, you know what I'm saying, and chop them up and make them into a beat. Like that's talent, man. That's like prodigy talent. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna find nobody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I remember being in high school when I bought that
facts,
amplified the Q-Tip album, and I put on Rad, and I must have played Rad a million times.
Yeah.
That's always my favorite Dilla beat, man. That sample was just too clean. It's simple and clean at the same time, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, the one that did it for me was always Far Side's Running. When I look at my Spotify most played songs, every year since Spotify's been around, Running is always in my top played every single year consistently. It's probably one of my favorite beats ever. And like I just remember that being one. But then it was another that you talked about, like not knowing that it was a Dilla beat. But Slum Village, that track that he did, Fall in Love. That was.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that was a Dilla track. I don't know how I never knew that, but I just found that out recently. I think Tobias Black, you would have wanted to bring that to my attention. Like Fall in Love was a Dilla's track, but
yeah, Slum Village was their group. It was Dilla was part of the group.
Man,
so he did all they beats. You know what I'm saying? He did all of Far Side. You know, and then he also did beats on, I don't know if y'all remember D'Angelo. No, y'all know D'Angelo.
Oh yeah.
But the Voodoo album, the one that had Method Red on it, he did like a couple beats on that one. Because they had a group. It was Questlove, Jay Dilla, and some dude named, what was his name? James Poyser. They had a group called the Soul Aquarians. And D'Angelo was in it too. So that's why, he did like a lot of songs with like Erykah Badu, the Soul Aquarians, yeah. So yeah. So dude, like I said, dude was ahead of his time, man.
Yeah.
Like, and when he did Donuts, his famous album. He was doing that while he was in the hospital.
Yeah, I just read that this week. I didn't realize that. They say his mom's brought his equipment up to the hospital and let him work while he was there. You know, and he had an untreatable blood disease, so they knew he wouldn't recover. But he was able to put out donuts while he was going through it.
Yeah, man, dude was amazing, man. Like he would but forever missed, man.
Forever missed. Man.
Dilla month.
Yes, sir. We celebrate those brothers and their lives. We appreciate it. Thank you, Tobias Black, for reminding us of the greatness. I think we could call it here. That we had a few more topics that we'll save for the next episode. This being Valentine's Day, we want to give the brothers a chance to go and continue to celebrate with their spouses. So we're gonna cut this episode a little short. We appreciate all of our listeners, all of those who are following us on social media at Blerds the Word. Fellas, this was a great episode. Some good. You said I ain't doing nothing. I'm not. Okay. All right. Well, look. Some of us then.
I'm about to cook this lavish dinner for my wife. We about to have caviar, lobster, premium Wagyu steak with the top.
Sounded good.
Hey, bro, I work.
Not a hot pocket. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy as hell. Oh man.
And, Eli only eat with China forks and knives, you know what I'm saying? So we got to pull all that out,
Yeah, I better get up
that. Hey, whatever y'all do and whatever you're eating on, enjoy it. Enjoy your spouse. We appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. Blerds out. Blerds, the work, Mike B. J Supreme. Blerds, the work, is Z Ali. Captain Kirk. Blerds, the work, circa 85. Tobias Black.